Clarity begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It started with noise, no clarity, no roadmap, a space overlooked. The final 10% left behind. We started from scratch, pixel by pixel, frame by frame. We met the players, identified the gaps. They were primitive efforts, but we were always moving forward. Clusters of pixels began to take shape. Programs launched. Ideas tested. Some worked, some didn't. But we kept going, learning and refining. The resolution was still low, but something bigger was beginning to form. And then we hit a turning point. A clear picture started to emerge. The image isn't fully in focus. There's still work to do. But now we can see clear pathways forward. And with that clarity comes power to move faster and smarter. But this isn't just about data. Behind every pixel is a person, a parent, a dream. For the 10%, clarity is more than progress. It's hope for a future fully in focus. Our transformation from scattered pixels to high resolution is beyond what anyone thought possible. Tonight, we celebrate the extraordinary progress fueled by this entourage, and we feel the electrifying excitement that comes with knowing we are on the brink of something transformative. This is High Res. Welcome to the 2025 Evening with Emilys-Entourage Gala. Are you ready to see what comes into focus next?
Hello, and welcome to the 14th annual Evening with Emilys-Entourage. As many of you know, I'm Emily's sister, Julia, and it's my greatest honor to welcome you to the most exciting night of the year for me and for my entire family. It's so moving looking out into this crowd and seeing so many faces that mean so much to us. Thank you to everyone in this room, the OG entourage and the newbies alike. We're forever grateful to have you in EE's Corner. Tonight, we're also joined by our amazing honorees, the Scaglione family, in loving memory of their mother, the extraordinary Dr. Carolyn Denning. They're cherished members of Emily's Entourage, and they have their own inspiring cystic fibrosis story, which you'll hear more about later. We're so excited to have them here with us tonight. And last but not least, to those of you tuning in virtually from around the world, we feel your presence, and we're so thrilled you're here with us. Similar to recent years, Emily, our sister Annie, and our parents Liza and Michael are also here tonight. Given my sister's advanced stage CF, a respiratory virus, or even the common cold could be catastrophic. So as a precaution, they're going to be in a separate tent this evening. But don't let that stop you from saying hi. They're so excited to see you and truly would love nothing more than to say hello from a distance. Some of you were probably expecting to see my brother Kobe up here, as in past years. But excitingly, he and his wife Lexi just had a baby. Shout out Gus. So I have the pleasure of kicking things off this evening. Kobe's are big shoes to fill, so we decided to pull out all the stops. We brought in a star, and a very funny one at that. I'm incredibly excited to introduce our amazing host for this year's gala. Anna Roisman is a comedian, host, writer, actress, and content creator. You may recognize her from her hilarious impressions of celebrities like Kris Jenner and Steve Brady on Instagram, her work as the host of the viral game show HQ Trivia, her stand-up comedy where she regularly performs at New York City staples like Joe's Pub, her hysterical podcast Big Wigs, or her digital work that has amassed a serious following. But what's slightly less Googleable about Anna is that she's one of our own. Raised here in Lower Merion, she and Emily grew up 1 year apart, attending sister high schools, sharing friends, and both going on to make this community immensely proud. We couldn't be more ecstatic to have Anna here with us tonight. So without further ado, it's my profound honor to welcome Anna to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I told her she could trim down that bio. She said, I already rehearsed. Thank you so much to Julia. Give it up for Julia for kicking it off. And thank you so much to Emily, Liza, and the whole team at Emilys-Entourage for inviting me to be here. I am so delighted to be your host this evening for the 14th annual Evening with Emilys-Entourage. That's 14 years. It's amazing. Also, I have to give a shout out to Kobe. He's a star. I watched last year's video. I have like big shoes to fill. So congrats to you. And he gets to drink and have fun tonight, you know. It feels so great to be back in the Philly area tonight. Whenever I perform, I live in New York. Whenever I perform, people always assume I'm from Long Island. I don't know why. I do correct them. I say, no, I'm from the Long Island of Philadelphia. Okay. It's called the Main Line. And Long Island and the Main Line are kind of similar, you know? Like a lot of high school parking lots have Audis. A lot of kids go to UPenn. But in our town, I say, no, that's where we differ. Our town worships the same God, and that God is Wawa. I tell people, I'm from just down I-95 off exit 6. Some of yous know it. You knows that exit, right? Yous get your water bottles down at that Wawa. No, but in all seriousness, Philadelphia is a great place to grow up, you know, a city known for its hoagies, cheesesteaks, and crime. Go Birds. I wanted to do that. Go Birds. It's a sensitive week to say that. I'm so sorry. Go Philly? No, I'm sorry. Wow. What other teams do you have? The Flyers. Do they? No? Okay. Well, we'll move on. Go Patriots. No, okay. Wow, I should leave now. That was my goal, to get booed off the stage at Emilys-Entourage by bringing in a Boston team. Anyway, I went to Harridan High School just a few years ago. They told me tonight was sponsored by Botox. Is that not true? No? And I went to Welsh Valley before that. Yeah, Welsh Valley was a great place. I peaked in Welsh Valley. I did. Having a bat mitzvah party every weekend for an entire year can turn a child into Paris Hilton, okay? I have never partied since. And that's mostly because I found theater in high school, you know? I don't know if you can tell, I was kind of a triple threat growing up. Band, concert choir, prude. But I did grow up with cool parents. Some of you might know my parents. Did anyone here have cool parents? One person in the back. It's my sister. No, it's not. If you didn't have them, you knew who the cool parents were. You know what I mean? My parents were cool because they went out every single night. I didn't know parents like read to their children and did things like, my parents went to dinner every single night, you know? They would go to the hottest spots too, right? Like the Penn Valley Pub or Aldar. Does that still exist, Aldar? And I would stay at home and play with my troll doll collection, so it shouldn't surprise anyone that I do carry a Labubu these days. I had a funny story. One time I remember I was home alone babysitting my siblings. I'm the oldest of 3, and we got a call from the Lower Merion Police Department. Are they here tonight? Thank God. And they said there were noise complaints coming from the neighbors. I lived in Marion Park, okay? And it was my first time ever, I was 12, ever dealing with, the Lower Merion Police Department, and I panicked because we were watching Beverly Hills 90210 and Party of 5. It was a Wednesday in this story. And I didn't think it was loud, but maybe someone down the street could hear us watching TV. I was so afraid. And then after apologizing to the cops, there was a banging at my front door, and we soon found out it was my dad. Prank calling us, and that was just a regular weeknight in my house growing up. He said I could rip on him more because he's actually at his Harridan High School reunion tonight. Anyway, like I said, I'm so honored to be here in my hometown, honoring an incredible organization and cause. Tonight is about recognizing the remarkable progress EE has made over the past 14 years and continuing to fuel it into the future. Our theme, High Res, is about clarity, precision, progress, perspective. It's the shift from blurry vision to sharp focus, the leap from guesswork to clearer understanding. Just like an image comes into view pixel by pixel, EE started small. A scrappy nonprofit conceived on the Kramer-Gollenkoff's living room floor, a space that had seen more game nights than budgeting sessions, has now become a multi-million-dollar engine of innovation and hope. The one thing that was never blurry was the mission. From day one, EE has been driven by a crystal clear goal: to speed life-saving breakthroughs and a cure for the final 10%. Year after year, the picture has become sharper. The EE team has learned the science, formed the relationships, and built the drug pipeline. With clarity comes power, and now, after 14 years, we have entered a new phase of higher impact, higher precision work. We are closer than ever to the vision of breakthroughs for 100% of the CF population. Yeah. Tonight is particularly special for me because, as Julia mentioned, in some ways, Emily and I grew up in parallel on the main line. There is a math joke there at some point. We grew up with dial-up internet and AOL chat rooms, and while she went to Lower Merion and I went to Harriton, we both spent our fair share of time at Manhattan Bagel. We hung out in Suburban Square, had after-school s'mores at Zando, later known as Cosi, and they rebranded. And let me tell you, do you know how far you could get at the King of Prussia Mall with a $20 bill and no parents? Woo! You could buy one thong at the Limited 2. By the way, I do still get my hair colored at J. Michael, so if I see any of you there, that's where I will be. But despite all the similarities, there was an obvious fundamental difference. Emily has cystic fibrosis, a life-threatening genetic disease that primarily affects the lungs and digestive system. At 40 years old, Emily has 27% lung function, which requires hours of dedicated care every day to try to salvage. That's intensive breathing treatments, handfuls of pills, and diligent management of her CF-related diabetes every single day. And Emily is not alone. There are so many people out there fighting the gravity of CF every day, working their hardest to delay progression of their disease while their bodies grow sicker and more fragile. There have been major medical advancements in the CF field in recent years. These breakthroughs have radically transformed the lives of people with CF, allowing them to run marathons, start families, plan for a future they can actually believe in, the very pinnacle of medical progress. But these breakthroughs only benefit 90% of the CF population, with the most common genetic mutations. For Emily, and everyone like her in the outlying 10%, there's still nothing. That's why we're here tonight, to find a breakthrough and cure for the final 10%, so everyone with CF and their families get the breakthrough they so desperately need, and to do it fast. I'm a relative newcomer to this entourage, but I have been so blown away by what EE has accomplished. You guys are amazing, especially everyone who's come here for 14 years. Amazing. Yeah, give it up for yourselves. And it especially means a lot for me to be here to support this organization and Emily, because the truth is that while so much of our childhood happened in parallel, there was a point at which our paths diverged. While I've been out in LA and New York chasing my dreams or building my career, Emily has been here in our hometown fighting for her life and the lives of so many others like her. It's not fair. Emily deserves better. I mean, she's amazing. Where Emily is amazing, and she looks beautiful tonight. And everyone in their final 10% deserves better. I know you all agree, because that is why you too are here tonight. Over the past 14 years, this community has brought EE's vision into high res together, spurring unimaginable progress and clarity. But the picture isn't finished yet. A few crucial pixels still need to click into place. I was going to say peace. That is why we're here tonight. Tonight, we're not just looking back, we're seeing forward. This community, my community and Emily's, is a community that bands together and sticks together. This entourage, all of you, from the scientists to the CF warriors, from the EE supporters to the unstoppable KGs, has held the vision steady for over a decade. You've kept the EE momentum alive, even when the path was blurry and uncertain. So thank you so much for having me here tonight. I am so humbled to be a part of this entourage and the extraordinary change that we are leading. Now, the picture is coming into focus. Sharp, bold, resolute. And with that clarity comes responsibility to press forward and to bring the full vision to life with unprecedented speed. On behalf of Emily's Entourage, thank you all for showing up, and thank you so much for sharing your vision.
Thank you, Anna. I think this is our first gala where the people were laughing in the audience. Usually we're passing out some tissues. Now first, a few special thank yous to the organizations and individuals that make Emily's Entourage and this gala possible. Tonight's presenting sponsor, Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Our Dream Team sponsor, Boehringer Ingelheim. Our Violet sponsors, 4D Molecular Therapeutics, Green Family Foundation and First Trust Bank, Recode Therapeutics, and Beatrice. Thank you to our individual presenting sponsors, Jill and Mark Fishman, Marcia and Ned Kaplan, Eli and Pauline Neerman Family Foundation, and RFCF. And thank you to our in-kind donors, IMS Technology Services, Philadelphia Magazine Events, Color Reflections, Remixologists, Harvest Seasonal Bar and Grill, the Honickman family, and many others. Of course, this night and the Emily's Entourage organization would not be possible without the Board of Directors, Scientific Advisory Board, Leadership Team, Clinical Research Review Committee, our Gala Planning and Steering Committees, and our amazing volunteers, with a special shout out to Global Citizenship. Our deepest appreciation to the Emily's Entourage staff, a small but very mighty team, Chandra Ghosh, Emily Kramer-Gollenkoff, Hannah Kleckner, Liza Kramer, Mariah Oakley, Lindsay Nash, Susanna Haley, a number of key contractors, and of course, our honorary president, Annie Kramer-Gollenkoff. She's probably making just as much noise in the other tent. And finally, a few other special thank yous to the original events company and to Spencer Carr and the Hogan Lovells team. On behalf of EE, thank you to all of these individuals and organizations for their deep commitment, partnership, and infinite generosity. Next up is a very special friend of Emily's Entourage. For those of you who attended last year's gala, he may look familiar. Or let's be honest, you may remember him from his beautiful daughter, Michaela, who absolutely stole the show. Joey and his family were last year's gala honorees. He and his late brother, Michael, who battled the disease until his passing in 2019, are part of the final 10% of people with CF who don't benefit from mutation-targeted therapies. The Borgionis and extended family have been fighting CF for as long as they can remember, and Michael's spirit and memory continue to inspire them and all of us here at Emily's Entourage. It's my absolute honor to welcome Joey Borgioni to the stage.
It's truly special for me and my family to be here again tonight. As last year's honorees, we were so humbled and grateful for the opportunity to celebrate my brother Michael's life and have our family recognized for over 30 years of fighting CF. It is my great honor to introduce tonight's 2025 Emily's Entourage Gala honoree, John Scaglione. John has been an extraordinary supporter of Emily's Entourage, not only through his generosity, but through his heart and commitment he brings to EE's mission. His commitment to finding the cure for those in the final 10%, like Emily and myself, has been profound. This past spring, John made an extremely generous donation to the CF fundraising walk honoring my brother Michael without ever knowing him. That act of kindness meant so much to my family, and it spoke volumes about the thoughtfulness and humanity that John embodies. John's dedication is also rooted in a remarkable family legacy. His mother, Dr. Carolyn Denning, was a pioneer in CF care. Her vision and compassion live on through John and the Scaglione family. Because of people like John and his family, Emilys-Entourage has been able to accelerate groundbreaking research and push the boundaries of what's possible. On behalf of the Scaglione family and in loving memory of Dr. Carolyn Denning, please join me in celebrating and honoring a remarkable advocate, philanthropist, and friend, the Emilys-Entourage 2025 Gala honoree, John Scaglione.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate being invited tonight. Wanted to augment my opening remarks by congratulating Lexi and Kobe. That's just amazing. And here's to Gus. Here's to Gus. Perfect, perfect. So I'm here tonight to honor the memory of my mom, Dr. Carolyn Denning. She was raised in rural western Kentucky, and from birth she was a trailblazer, committed to achieving her personal ideals and professional goals. Her father pressed her to conform. She was supposed to stay at home, be a good Southern woman, marry, and settle down locally. And I can only imagine how frustrated she was and the determination that it took to do otherwise for her career. Her otherwise was becoming valedictorian of her high school class, graduating from the University of Kentucky clear across the state, completing medical school in New Orleans as one of few women at the time, where she also navigated more sinister gender-based challenges to her graduation, and then on to Baltimore and New York in medical positions of increasing responsibility. Once she left Kentucky, she never looked back. If you know of or have read Bijal Trivedi's medical historical account, Breath from Salt, you may be aware that Dorothy Anderson, MD, first isolated cystic fibrosis from other digestive diseases as early as 1938. She was a pathologist at Baby's Hospital in New York City. She was not a trained pediatrician. Dr. Anderson served as mentor to my mom in her position as a CF research fellow beginning in 1955, and they collaborated very closely for the rest of Dr. Anderson's illustrious career. And it's also from the Breath of Salt book that I first learned about Emilys-Entourage. I also learned from Liza that it was Mom who first diagnosed Emily with CF back in 1985. So the connection to her family and the entourage fittingly traces its origins to the very beginning. So Mom spent 22 years at Baby's Hospital at Columbia Presbyterian in New York City, and she rose to lead the CF Center and establish the novel framework for a multidisciplinary group of practitioners that set the standard for CF care at the time. As it happened, though, after those 22 years, it became clear to her that her goals for the CF Center, as well as her patients and their families, diverged from those of the Baby's Hospital leadership. Never one to acquiesce or compromise her vision of first-rate care, she made the difficult decision and she moved the entire cystic fibrosis center out of Baby's Hospital in downtown Manhattan to St. Vincent's Hospital in 1977. There, Under the leadership of her husband, Dr. Peter Scaglione, as chairman of pediatrics, Dr. Denning's CF Center further blossomed into a world-class center for the treatment and the research of cystic fibrosis. Her vision and focus was finally realized. The commitment to her chosen field and her beloved patients came into high resolution. As her career ended in 1995, the St. Vincent's Center supported patient care and research with a wide-ranging team that included physicians, both pediatric, adolescent, and adult, very new, nurses, geneticists, psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, nutritionists, lab techs, research associates, and a devoted support staff. This is the fundamental team approach that she spearheaded. And the approach to keeping patients and families in the center of things provided hope on many different socio-medical levels, helping to address the challenges of a CF diagnosis. We're gathered tonight to raise money for ongoing CF research. We're not done yet, okay? A quick glance at my mom's CV, which was 24 pages in length. 20 of those pages were devoted to career-spanning research publications. So she was always doing research from the moment she stepped out of Dr. Anderson's shadow until she retired. And she would recognize the parallels between her ideals of never giving up hope and the mission of Emilys-entourage. She would have enthusiastically embraced the mission of EE and supported its innovative approach to cutting-edge CF research and advancing patient care at the same time. We simply must continue to focus on the 10% of CF patients who do not benefit from current mutation-targeted modulators therapy. We can leave no one behind in our search for answers and a breakthrough for those still struggling with this devastating disease. If she were here tonight, my mom would celebrate the progress made in CF care, but her focus would not waver from raising the money to fund the research until every patient can say, I used to have cystic fibrosis. So thank you very much for honoring Dr. Denning's memory, but let us press on with our collective efforts. Thank you very much.
John, it's my deepest privilege to honor you and your family in your mother's memory, and to stand with you as we share a really special update. Each year, we recognize a bold innovator in CF research and drug development with the Emilys-entourage Trailblazer Award, which is given to someone who partners with EE to bring courage, creativity, tenacity to the quest for life-saving breakthroughs. Starting this year, the award will be renamed the Dr. Carolyn Denning Trailblazer Award. To honor your mom's pioneering spirit and unwavering dedication. The newly named award will be presented to a CF researcher later this month at the North American CF Conference in Seattle. So we're proud to name this award. We're so proud to name this award in your mother's memory, and we hope that she'd be proud too.
Thank you very much.
Keep it going for John. That was great. John, I am so blown away by your family's story, by your remarkable mom, and by her connection to EE in diagnosing Emily's CF at 6 weeks old. What a visionary woman, and what an ambitious and important dream she brought to life. Very cool. Speaking of vision, legacy, and dreams, next up, it is my profound honor to present to you the debut of the Emilys-entourage 2025 video, a powerful reflection on what it means to grow up with CF.
younger me. Dear my younger self.
Dear younger me.
Dear younger Steph,
It's 1985 and you're expecting your first child. Becoming a mom was your single greatest dream.
You built entire universes with your imagination. No limits, no fear, just possibility.
I see you on the court or on the field, chasing the basket, the touchdown, the home run.
You had so much to figure out. You were just being a teenager. You had no idea what was coming.
I loved baby dolls. I was obsessed with my doll's house, and I had these really intricate schemes of their life stories. I think it was really an amazing way for a kid to let their imagination, their dreams run free.
This was a 4th grade Little League trophy. I remember as early as probably 3 or 4 just throwing a baseball around with my brother. We'd always pretend like we were in the World Series or things like that.
I am the hula hooping champion of Ashurst Elementary, 1996. Just gotta get the rhythm, you know? I started hanging out with the more artsy, hipster, queer folks, and these kids would be like, oh, let's go to this tiny little obscure venue. And I'd be like, all right.
I had a calendar and I guess I jotted down every few weeks, things about Emily. The 14th of March, sweat test, positive results. Dr. Newman confirmed Emmy has cystic fibrosis. This was one of the dresses that I bought for a newborn. And my thought then is, if I bought a dress too big, then she'd live long enough. She'd live long enough to fit into it. I guess that was the beginning of my magical thinking and the power that I thought I had to keep Emmy safe and alive.
So this is dated September 6th, 1994. In 2 more days, I'm going to the hospital. The word hospital scares me. 9-year-olds are not supposed to go in the hospital and get PICC lines and IVs and be plucked out of their everyday lives. They're supposed to be doing math homework and, playing soccer with their friends. And so it makes me sad, honestly.
When the big modulator came out, I got so excited and realized pretty quickly that I wasn't on the list. I felt, everybody got taken up into this lifeboat, and I'm still out here in the middle of the ocean, absolutely drowning.
The last year has been really difficult. I just started coughing up blood, and then I had to go to the ER immediately. I think just that realization setting in of you're gonna have to move home for however long. A lot of my friends were kind of exploring, moving to new cities like New York, Chicago, starting new jobs. So it was really hard to not feel left behind.
I can't get enough oxygen into my body to have what it needs. And I just constantly feel so out of breath, and it feels like I'm suffocating.
It's awful to see her scared. And there's nothing you could say about it because things that are happening to her body are scary.
Over the years, every single antibiotic that treats the bacteria in my lungs, I've become violently allergic to. I would love a treatment that could do more for me than what antibiotics do. That's obviously the dream. But to not even have the option of antibiotics anymore really is terrifying.
We felt such desperation, and we started Emilys-Entourage. What that sparked in us was this realization We couldn't just rely on other people to be creating the future we thought needed to exist and to be developing these therapies, that we might need to play a leadership role in it, and that it was up to us.
Dear future mother-to-be,
Dear future me,
Dear future me,
Dear future me,
when you hear those unimaginable words that your baby has cystic fibrosis, you won't have to rely on magical thinking or buy dresses in bigger sizes.
I see you playing with your dolls, so full of life. But this time, you're not gonna have to give that up.
you could climb that mountain without a second thought. You could breathe deep and not struggle.
you'll no longer be worried about ending up in the ER or looking up from a hospital bed.
Our dream with Emilys-Entourage is to give every single person with CF the future that they dream of and that they deserve. Dad, go down.
And we'll come to you, Emily.
Okay. In September of 2024, I went into the hospital. It was my first time being hospitalized for a lung infection in many years. And it's hard for me to even recount what happened because it happened gradually and it happened all at once. In the months leading up, I had been slowly declining. My chest was filling with congestion, my breaths were becoming labored. It was slow and insidious, the kind of sick where you don't even realize how bad you feel because it creeps up on you. And yet, it was also sudden. On a totally average day, I was out for my daily walk. I took the same route I took every day. I did the same medical treatments that I did every day. Everything was the same, except when I walked up the hill and tested my oxygen, my numbers were not the same. My oxygen level was alarmingly low. And so it was that I landed in the hospital. The hospital stay was largely uneventful. I started powerful antibiotics to treat the infections growing in my lungs. By day 2, I got the onslaught of severe side effects that I get when I start IV antibiotics: high fever, vigorous shaking, and low blood pressure. This immune reaction has become customary for me, so I know to expect it. And crazily, as fast as it comes, it passes. Day 4 is typically the turning point where I recover from that initial immune reaction and start to feel the early signs of the antibiotics kicking in. Each time I do IVs, I hold my breath, praying that the meds will work again, because with antibiotic resistance, it is always a gamble. And so it was day 4 of my hospitalization, and right on schedule, I started to see the early signs of the antibiotics taking effect. Relief washed over me. Not antibiotic yet, I thought to myself. Antibiotic resistant yet, I thought to myself. I count my blessings every time. And that's when the real bounce back usually begins. My numbers start going up. I emerge from the haze of infection, and I start feeling human again. But this time, it was different. My numbers did start to go up, but slower and in smaller increments, more slogging than bouncing. I raised my concern to the doctors, but they kept reassuring me, "Emily, just wait. Be patient, it's still early." And so I did. I waited. I tried to be patient. I kept the faith. But I could feel something was different. The days came and went, and yet the numbers were still slogging, lagging behind where they should have been at this point. On day 6, my doctor walked into the room. I gave him my normal rundown and reiterated my concern. But this time, he pulled over a chair and took a seat. "Emily, you're right. Your numbers are not bouncing back like they usually do. This probably is progression of your CF." And though I knew it to be true, deep in my bones, long before my doctor uttered the words, there was something about hearing him say it that made it real. This wasn't temporary, an exacerbation to recover from. This was a new stage of my CF. Physically, it hit hard. I felt more shortness of breath. I needed supplemental oxygen to sleep, and even a short walk could cause my oxygen levels to topple. But emotionally, it hit even harder. I was doing everything I possibly could, inhaling every breathing treatment, taking every pill, begging the doctors for what more I could do. And still, I was failing. It was like my hands and legs were bound as I plummeted, powerless and paralyzed. In that moment, I lost something greater than hope. I lost my belief that I could do anything to change my outcome. It was an existential unraveling, a flattening of my spirit. I am a pretty resilient person, and I have to tell you, this took quite a toll. In almost every other realm of life, if I wanted something badly enough, I worked really hard, I leveraged and felt grateful for my immense privilege, and usually I could will the outcome I wanted. But this time was different. I remember going home from the hospitals, still on IVs, and feeling so low. In the days that followed, I did a lot of processing to try to find a way to accept this new, more advanced stage of my CF. And it was in those grief-stricken days that I had a powerful revelation. I was putting my effort in the wrong place. I was working so hard trying to control an outcome, but it was an illusion to think that I had control of my health. I had to release my chokehold on the outcome and redirect that energy to what I could control, the inputs or the efforts I was putting into managing my health. Now, this felt horrifying on the one hand, like an acceptance of my disease progression and like a resignation, and yet totally liberating on the other. My health decline wasn't my fault. There wasn't anything else I could have done. What I realized in that moment is that not having full control didn't mean that I had no control over my destiny. And that's an important distinction. Many of you know that I am a podcast junkie, and Guy Raz's How I Built This is a longtime favorite. I'm reminded of Guy's question at the end of each interview, where he asks guests, how much of your success do you attribute to luck, and how much do you attribute to hard work? I've come to understand that the two are not mutually exclusive. They are completely intertwined. Hard work is about continuously putting in your top effort, doing everything you can possibly do. It's about being strategic about pathways to pursue, dogged and persistent, and continuing to show up even when it gets tough. That hard work creates opportunities for luck to show up. And then it's on you to run like with those opportunities as if your life depends on it. It is in that convergence of hard work and luck that you shape your destiny. My tireless work to fight the progression of my CF wasn't for naught, but rather than trying to will the outcome, my energy was better spent focusing on the inputs, which I could control, and holding on to faith that the hard work would ultimately create more chances for luck to show up. It was a slight reframe with a transformative impact, the kind of aha moment that you spend years in therapy trying to unlock. And ironically, it wasn't even a new idea. It turns out it's the same playbook that emilys-entourage has been following since the very start. It's crazy how something can be right under your nose in one realm of life and yet totally evade you in another. And what's more is that it's a playbook that's working, driving significant progress at emilys-entourage. In fact, just last year, you heard me talk about the phages that we've developed to treat drug-resistant infections. Well, I'm pleased to share that this year, we've taken things to a whole new level, exponentially increasing our impact with the development of 353 phages that have now treated 106 people with drug-resistant infections. That's 106 people in life or death situations where traditional medicine had nothing left to offer. Those phages have been used to treat not only people with CF, but also those with bone, skin, and non-CF lung infections, demonstrating that our work extends far beyond CF. Those are your dollars bringing life-saving Hail Mary treatments to people when they need them most. And there's more. To keep our research pipeline robust, earlier this year, we awarded nearly $900,000 in new grants to 4 top researchers developing everything from personalized gene editing therapies, to next-generation antimicrobial approaches. The projects funded by these research grants will become the trials and therapies of tomorrow. And speaking of trials, the faster that we fill clinical trials, the faster that we get therapies to the final 10%. And so we have been hard at work expanding our clinical trial recruitment program. This year, with our newly upgraded patient database, we formed 12 partnerships with CF organizations and clinics in 6 countries around the world. And our efforts are working. Since its launch last year, our database has grown by nearly 50%, with registrants from 46 states and 52 countries. We've supported recruitment for 7 clinical trials for mRNA therapy and gene therapy, and completed our first international project in Australia. This work, it's not just about CF either. It's about creating a new model for clinical trial recruitment for ultra-rare populations that have been left behind by traditional pharmaceutical development. And emilys-entourage is leading the way. They can't put all your eggs in just one basket. And so we are continuing to push on all fronts to keep filling the pipeline. That's why, in February, we hosted a scientific symposium called The Delivery of Genes: Advancements and Challenges Through a CF Lens. We brought together over 100 of the world's top experts from within and outside of the CF space to tackle gene-based delivery, which is one of the most pressing challenges that stand between us and life-saving therapies for the final 10%. The scientists talked about the unprecedented momentum with several therapies entering clinical trials, and also about the challenges that remain in the field. And on the topic of challenges, the day before the symposium, something big happened. In clinical development, the companies conducting trials sit on tremendous amounts of competitive data. You know what gets stifled as a result? Collaboration, information sharing, progress. Well, I'm humbled beyond words to share that on the day before the symposium, we launched a truly unprecedented initiative. For the first time ever, we brought together all of the clinical stage CF gene therapy and mRNA companies, a group that does not typically engage so openly, to collaboratively tackle the challenges and drive the solutions to accelerate therapeutic development for the final 10%. The success of the convening was a testament to EE's leadership, and especially our remarkable Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Chandra Ghosh, who dreamt up this bold idea, to our relationships with the CF companies and ability to effectively galvanize competitive stakeholders around a shared goal, and to the extraordinary companies whose deep commitment to the communities they serve push them to do the unconventional like this. It's called the Gene Therapy Consortium. It's a new model of rare disease drug development where we're propelled by a shared commitment to expeditious and safe clinical development and emboldened by the courage to push beyond the bounds and do whatever it takes to reach our goal, all pioneered by emilys-entourage. And so we continue to shatter convention and push on all fronts to generate more research and move trials forward as quickly as possible. That is the tireless hard work that EE is powering, all possible because of your unwavering support. That work, those inputs, have accumulated over time like dots on a canvas, like pixels on a screen. As the pixels add up, a picture emerges. But it's not just about clarity. Each pixel is a new exposure, a new potential pathway. Those inputs actually expand what's possible, multiplying the opportunities and building deeper, more powerful connections. Through this approach, we transform luck from something external to hope for into something that we actually engineer through sustained and strategic inputs. That's how we invite luck to show up. That's how we shape our destiny. And that is precisely what we are here tonight to do, to generate the inputs to shape our destiny and create life-saving breakthroughs for the final 10%. Getting there is up to all of you. This entourage, all of you are the dreamers and believers, the risk takers and breakthrough makers, a collection of the most passionate and devoted people in the universe gathered together on a mission of a lifetime to develop life-saving breakthroughs and create a future where we can all, 100% of us, finally see clearer and breathe easier. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage emilys-entourage leadership team member, Mark Fishman.
I don't even get that applause from my family. That's pretty cool. So, someone way smarter than me told me once that what's important in life isn't what happens to you, but who happens to you. And so 12 years ago, approximately 12 years ago, I got invited by Emily and Liza to have coffee with them at Cozy. I don't know if you guys remember that place in Bryn Mawr. I see someone shaking their head, yes. Like Penn Valley Pub, it's still there. And what has happened in the last 12 years is they got me hook, line, and sinker. Because in my life, I've never met two people like them, and I'm in awe of everything that they've built and everything that they do. But they're con artists because they told me I wasn't going to have to spend much time. And then they told me tonight, they asked me to do this, and they said, well, Kobe usually does it, but Kobe's going to give birth. Kobe's got a baby due right around this time. I think the real due date was 3 weeks ago. They lied to me about it just so that I would do it. But Kobe will be back next year, so don't worry. Anyway, emilys-entourage started with a clear vision to find breakthrough for the final 10%. But the picture of how to get there was blurry. Over the past 14 years, with the help of this entourage, the vision of that path has come into clear focus. Your energy and commitment are our lifeline, offering hope, possibility, and clarity to the final 10% and their families. You, the entourage, are the reason the organization is in this position, making a real impact for the real patients and the broader scientific community. We are eternally grateful for all you've done to help us get here. Now is our chance to bring this picture to life, to deliver life-saving breakthroughs to Emily, Steph, Abhijit, and everyone like them. This is why we're here. So I was thinking about Emily's speech and the video that was amazing that we saw before that. And we're talking about pixels. So we have an opportunity tonight to create one more pixel to make the picture clearer and to give us one more shot on goal, as I would like to say from a cocky perspective, in terms of being able to finally get something done for the final 10%. Pixel is worth $80,000, and $80,000 is basically a year's worth of a grant that we can give to another grantee, okay, to help us potentially find a cure. And as Emily said, you can do it. You can only do what you can do, and then to a certain extent, luck comes in. And I have a really good feeling that the pixel that we create tonight, okay, is going to be the pixel. It's going to be like the winning lottery ticket. So, just so you don't get nervous, okay, I've been busy at work in the last week or two, and we've got a bunch of anonymous people that aren't here tonight, actually, to fund a $40,000 matching grant. So if we can raise $40,000 tonight, we will have created that pixel, and we'll have another shot in goal. Why is everybody so quiet? So please take out your phones. Please take out your phones, and if you haven't been looking at the screen, it's been telling you 16 different times about how to do this. But you should have received a text with the link. Please click that link to take you to our mobile donation page. If you did not receive the link, text QRCF in capitals to 44-321. If you need help, please find one of our volunteers. Those of you joining virtually should also have received the text. There's a link in the Zoom chat also where you can aid as well. We have 5 minutes to do this, and if you don't do it, I'm going to talk to God, it's going to rain like crazy, and you're not going to be able to leave the tent. So we need to get this pixel, and I'm counting on everybody to do it. So the 5 minutes is going to start, I believe, now. No? Go! Come on, Kobe! And now Kobe's going to come up here and get you all riled up.
That's all you got to do. You got to yell into the microphone and then crazy things happen. That was beautiful. Yeah, I'm up here. No, I'm up here. So we got to play to our strengths tonight. Julia, that was beautiful. Anna, thank you. John, Joey, Mark, you're incredible. This organization would not be what it is without you. Now, my strength, I'm the cheerleader. I'm the hype man. I'm here to shout, cheer.
You guys raised 80?
I just heard that if we raise 80 tonight, we're halfway there, it will be matched. I'm not the math guy, but that's like a double match that we have. So it's up to us here in this room. And if there's one thing that I know about Mark, it's that he hates to lose.
We are going to win. We're definitely going to win.
We're going to win. We're going to win here tonight. We get to 80K, it gets matched. So that's dollar for dollar for dollar or something like that. Now, think about how far your dollar goes here. Think about what Emily's Entourage has done. You heard Emily say it, right? 353 phages created, powered by this organization to treat over 100 people with drug-resistant infections. These are people in life or death situations, nowhere to turn, but they come to this group. They come to this organization. They come to Emily's Entourage. Because we're doing it. You are doing it. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Liz. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for making this possible. We have 3 minutes, 10 seconds. That seems crazy, right? How can we hit 40K? But I think that we can do it. Keep rolling. We have 3 minutes left. Emily, Liza, my dad, Annie, they can't be in this room, but they're cheering, they're watching, they're rooting for us. And you know what's gonna happen? One day, all of you in this room, you'll receive an email and it will say, we did it. We cured CF. And it will be because of moments like this, inputs that we can control. So we can invite that luck to show up. Like Emily said, so we can shape our own destiny. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your contributions. Wendy and Courtney and Danielle, Becca. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Ned. I'm just going to keep going out here. We're getting there. We're at 22K. We're going to need a big push, but I'm going to keep sharing and ranting until we get there. Because you know what? Years from now, like John said, when we have a cure, when we have ended CF, and people tell that story, Emily's entourage, all of you will be a part of that story.
Come on, we only have 5,000 to go. Oh, whoa!
If we hit 40K, that is 80K, and that turns to 160K. Thank you so much to the Scaglionis. Thank you to the Fishmans. Thank you to the Kaplans. Thank you to our sponsors.
Keep going.
Let's keep going. We have a minute 30 seconds. I think I ran out of my content, so let's keep going. By the way, we keep rolling. There's a special surprise for you in the other room. I won't roll the surprise, but if you've been to New Orleans, if you've been to Pat O's, it will kind of look and feel like that a little bit. We're going to celebrate because you all have made this night truly magical. We have 1 minute left. When we get down to 10 seconds, and we can keep the clap going, and we can speed it up when we get down to 10. And we're going to speed up that clap because we've earned it. This is changing history. This is life-changing work for Emily, for Joey, for everyone in the final 10%. Because this entourage won't stop until we find a cure for every single person who so desperately needs it. Thank you all so much. 25 seconds. Look at Annie, look at that smile. She's proud of us. She's our president. We follow her lead. All right, please clap it up. Please clap it up. Please clap it up. We've got 10 seconds left. Now let's speed it up, speed it up, speed it up. Here. Thank you. This is unbelievable.
Great job. Give yourself a hand. He's really good, right? Don't you feel like you're in a revival meeting?
Thank you, guys.
Keep it going for Mark and Kobe. They did it. What an amazing night. Thank you all for being here. We braved the rain. We did it. We're here. I want to thank everybody who was involved in putting this event together. And if you find yourself moved to get even more involved, EE work happens all year long, and we would be thrilled to have you jump in with us. Just a couple of quick notes. You may have seen the Pixel Perfect activation on your way in here. It has since been moved to the reception tent. So if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to add your Pixel to collectively reveal the final picture in full focus. And additionally, don't forget to capture the energy of the evening. There's a photo booth outside. Who doesn't love a photo booth? Just outside the reception tent. And please join us in the reception tent for some food, drinks, and entertainment. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations.